Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the WrestleCast. It is the start of a new era in the WWE, which is kind of a start of a new era for the WrestleCast. I really want to try to grow this channel and grow this podcast right here on YouTube. So make sure everyone gives a like, comment below, and subscribe. There's going to be more videos coming on the regular. It's the start of a new era in WWE, or so they say. And so I figured, what a way to kind of start off this new presentation of the WrestleCast than just recap what's been going on the last couple weeks. I think the last video I did was a Money in the Bank review. I don't even know if that went up. I'm going to have to check my channel. So I know I've been gone for a bit, but here's what I really want to try to do. Starting today, there'll be weekly videos, just talking about the state of wrestling, and all the other good stuff. I'm looking at options on how to make this, just audio, and hopefully, with that coming, it'll, be more listenable as just a podcast rather than just a YouTube show. But we'll take that as it comes. So a lot's been going on in the WWE since I last was here on this channel. The brand split and the brand extension happened. Raw and SmackDown are completely different, and we've had 2 weeks now of separate Raw and SmackDown shows. How's it been? I think Raw's been pretty good. I still think SmackDown can work. But that's neither here nor there. The first thing I do want to kind of talk about was Battleground, just because it was the last pay-per-view. Pay-per-view predictions and reviews will still come as they normally do. Then my next one, of course, being SummerSlam. But, so yeah, I mean, Battleground. Battleground was great. For a B-show pay-per-view, it was pretty good. I mean, Zayn versus Owens was easily the match of the night for me, though the Shield triple threat was very, very good. And I think it made Ambrose look strong. I'm glad that Sammy got the win the way he did over Kevin Owens. The women's tag match was very good. And that's really all I can remember from the show. I mean, I know the Wyatts won against the New Day, which I thought it was an okay match, but, what happened with the draft 5 days prior to the pay-per-view, I don't know why the Wyatt family won after they had just gotten split up. And it wasn't for the tag team titles anyway, so, I mean, why even really care about that match, about the outcome? So yeah, I think in general, Battleground, it gets a 4 out of 5 from me. I don't think that it was perfect, but I think it was a solid 4 out of 5. So how I do ratings on this show, at least how I'm going to do now, pay-per-view show ratings, is going to be out of 5 stars, or, out of a rating system out of 5, but I am going to use halves. So this is just a solid 4 out of 5. There was things that could have been improved. I wish Bayley had a little bit more to do in the match, the women's tag team match. So that's just a really, really abridged pay-per-view review for Battleground 2016. I know I didn't do a predictions video on that. But yeah, so that was the pay-per-view. And then we got the brand split earlier in the week. SmackDown went live on Tuesdays. And the draft, you know what? People on the internet so far, before we even saw Raw and SmackDown, were being very, very negative, and I don't think that's necessarily fair to be so negative. There was a really couple head-scratcher moments in there. It started off really well, especially Finn Balor being in the first round of draft picks. That was pleasantly surprised, and Charlotte being the 3rd overall pick, which really showed the women what were important. But my problem with it was that Raw looked like it kicked the crap out of SmackDown. It looked way better than SmackDown. simply because the amount of names they got, and the fact that they got 3 picks for every SmackDown 2. That didn't make sense to me. I know it's a 3-hour show compared to a 2-hour show, but SmackDown already in 2 shows has not utilized talent every week, where they could be utilizing more talent every week. And so, Raw is not using everyone every week either. So it's hard. I mean, I would bring the people that are coming back onto SmackDown. But as far as the draft goes, I mean, Raw just looked like it kicked the crap out of SmackDown. So bad. They got Rollins, Reigns, Lesnar, guys like Cesaro. They got Charlotte and Sasha Banks. The New Day. So many good people. And they got Enzo and Cass and Gallows and Anderson. They split up the club, which was head-scratching to me. I really thought Gallows and Anderson were going to SmackDown with AJ Styles. That's what I would have done. And I know, I think I put up the mock draft that I was going to do. I don't really recall if I did or not. I'm going to have to check the channel. But, yeah, so Gallows and Anderson went to Raw. AJ Styles went to SmackDown. I think all the NXT call-ups, except Mojo Rawley, all the NXT call-ups were fine. They were good. Mojo, in my opinion, I'll get to Mojo. But Finn Balor, they're pushing him to the moon. Great. I'm a huge fan of Finn Balor, and he deserves it. He is number 1. He's great, and he is going up against Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, the new Raw World Title, as it were. I think Universal Championship is a stupid name. Of course, everyone does. Finn Balor, and then American Alpha for SmackDown. Very good pickup for them. They're going to be the staple of that tag team division, I believe. And Daniel Bryan just announced there's going to be tag team championships, which is awesome for SmackDown. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Mojo was the last one. So all of those call-ups, I have 2 problems with them. First thing, Nia Jax, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss all got drafted, which leaves the NXT Women's Division totally wiped out of contenders for Asuka's women's title. So at Back to Brooklyn, or TakeOver Brooklyn 2, it's going to be Bayley versus Asuka one more time. Bayley has been ready for the main roster for so long, and she's still in NXT. And it just, I know it pains people to think about it. But she did debut on Battleground, so that's nice. There was a little bit of a win for us, the huge fans for Bayley. It's obvious to see Bayley is way over. Just first night being out there, she was way over, like so over the moon, kind of like Enzo and Cass are. So she's still in NXT because she's the only one that can really challenge Asuka, because none of the other women in NXT have development. So I'm hoping that in the next coming weeks they're going to build that depth in the women's division back up on NXT, because they can do it. I mean, Sarah Amato knows what she's doing down there, and they train really good women down there. So Nia Jax, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss, all good acquisitions. Nia Jax went to Raw. Alexa Bliss and Carmella went to SmackDown. On the SmackDown side, again, there's not talent. There's talent that's been utilized very poorly, and so far has been Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss hasn't even wrestled a match yet. I mean, neither is Carmella, I guess. But yeah. So, and then Mojo, which Mojo hasn't wrestled yet. So I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. To me, like, the whole Mojo Rawley thing, I get it. He's been in NXT for years, and his character is not changing. You're not going to go back all the way after you've invested so much time in this character, and to go back and repackage him is kind of stupid at this point. I just don't think the guy's that good. I like him, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the Hype Bros, him and Zack Ryder, but it kind of sticks out. Zack Ryder's way better than Mojo Rawley in the Hype Bros. I like their chemistry, But you can tell Zack is just a way better performer. I'm a Zack Ryder fan. Listen, I'm so glad he got drafted to SmackDown, and he has the chance to have an individual spotlight on him again, and sort of got that push that he never seems to get. He kind of gets it, and they immediately pull it from him. But I just think Mojo Rawley, sticking him in a tag team with Zack Ryder, just makes Mojo look worse. Because he's really not that good in the ring, and he's not the best at promos. So I get it. He was ready because he's been in NXT for so long. But man, no Ty Dillinger? Seriously, no Ty Dillinger being brought up. No Samoa Joe. No Nakamura. No Austin Aries. No Eric Young. No Bobby Roode. What? I get it that they want to make NXT the developmental brand. But right now, they had so much of that roster to their disposal. And I actually like what Matt Zion brought up, who's a popular YouTuber. He has a food-related channel, but he was mentioning how he's a big wrestling fan. And he was mentioning how they should have made a thing for William Regal to say, okay, these 6 people you cannot draft. So, Samoa Joe, Nakamura, Austin Aries, and then 3 of the women. So, Asuka, Bayley, and someone else, or, they could have waited on Nia Jax, right? And so, you have to pick, you make your NXT picks from that. Now, obviously Finn Balor, the greatest pick in the draft. And so far, he's been paying off very well, very handsomely. So Raw and SmackDown, the past couple days, the past couple weeks, they've made a significant effort to change things from Raw, change things from SmackDown, so each shows at least feel different, and they feel unique. I really dig on what's going on with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton right now, them invading both shows, and security trying to get both of them out of there on Monday and Tuesday this week. I have to say, Monday and Tuesday, back-to-back, 5 hours of live wrestling. It's a lot of wrestling. I mean, I've done it the last 2 weeks just because I've been off on Monday and Tuesday, but it's going to be a lot. After 3 months, I'm not going to want to play this game anymore of sitting through 5 hours of wrestling every week. 5 hours of live wrestling for 2 days in a row. In my opinion, cut Raw down to 2 hours. Raw doesn't need to be 3 hours. But I know the network likes having Raw being 3 hours and all that stuff. But when you think about the length of the pay-per-view, a pay-per-view's Raw just without commercials. So, yes, it's half an hour longer, but if you had to take a 2 hour Raw, which is an hour and a half of content, you have basically pay-per-view is double that. It feels a lot bigger. Right now, you sit through Raw, I mean, it's sitting through a pay-per-view. It's the same length as sitting through a pay-per-view. They're going to pay $10 for where cable is free. Well, to an extent. But watching Raw on free TV, So, right now, I think Raw is winning slightly for the post-draft world we live in. But for right now, I mean, I think they're building things very handsomely towards SummerSlam. I like Balor and Rollins. That's going to tear the house down. They look like they're going for Roman Reigns and Rusev for the United States title. I think that's fine. The New Day looks like they're going to be facing the Club, and I hope the Club gets the titles. Just because it's time for the New Day to drop those titles and find something different for them to do. Sasha versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. That is going to be kick fucking ass. So good. And on the SmackDown side, it looks like we have The Miz versus Apollo Crews, which was just set up this week. I think that's going to be a good match. I don't know if The Miz should drop the title or not. Apollo Crews, I think, needs a little bit more time to develop as a character. And we have Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE World Championship. I don't know why Ziggler got this push, but they seem to be trying to make the most of it and trying to really make you care about Ziggler again. Time to make Dolph Ziggler great again. But his push right now, I don't mind it. But I wish they did a match this week on SmackDown Live where it was Bray Wyatt versus Dolph Ziggler. I wish Bray Wyatt had gotten that push to main event against Ambrose. I think it's pretty clear that this match for SummerSlam is like Dean's first real like title defense of like, you know, he's gonna win, but like they're trying to build up Dolph Ziggler as like a credible threat. But Dean's just gonna retain. Dean is the man right now, and I love Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is great. You know, I think I like him best out of the guys in the Shield. And yeah, SmackDown really doesn't have much going for it after that. I mean, I'm sure American Alpha is gonna have some kind of match against like the Ascension or like Breezango or something like that. Shelton Benjamin's coming back. Rhino is back. Just there's so much going on in the world of wrestling right now, and there's a lot of content every week. I'm watching tons of shows, listening to tons of podcasts, tons of interviews, other YouTubers. I mean, the market, I feel right now, is very saturated on, you know, the whole wrestling media sort of thing, because I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan from a small town who likes talking about wrestling. So I just talk about wrestling in front of a video camera. And hopefully, pretty soon, I will be getting a co-host. Funnily enough, his name is also Skylar. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think the current state right now in WWE, they're doing a lot of business. They have a lot of eyes on the product. Things like, you know, that are trending on Facebook, like Paul Heyman and Lesnar with the whole USADA thing, which maybe that'll be a separate topic one of these days. But things from the WWE are trending on Facebook worldwide of people that don't really watch wrestling. Or like John Cena, he's sort of being The Rock right now, cross-promotional status. And his star status is way up there. People are starting to like John Cena again. We're in that world. I don't mind Cena now. I really don't. I used to really not like Cena. I mean, I still don't, but as a wrestler. But I think as a top guy and as a businessman and as a good employee, he's great. John Cena's fine. You know, he's fine. He's good for being a liaison for the company. I mean, he went to China and spoke fluent Mandarin at a press conference because he's WWE's guy. But anyways, wow, that was a mouthful to get out. Just trying to think if there's anything more that I need to really talk about. Lots of stuff going on, and I breezed through a lot of it just to sort of touch on every single thing that's been going on over the past couple of weeks. And okay, I guess one last thing I'm going to rant about, not rant, but the Wyatt family, breaking them up. I don't know why they broke up the Wyatt family. I kind of get it with Braun Strowman. They want to try to repackage him a little bit, make him a monster. It's working out okay so far. The guy still is trash, and he can't wrestle. Bray Wyatt is going to be the breakout star. We know this. He can be a credible singles guy, and we know this already, and I wish they would just stop pussyfooting around and do it. I thought they were going to do it this week and put him over Ziggler to make Ziggler take his spot as an immortal contender. Maybe they'll do a triple threat at SummerSlam just to have more than 2 singles matches for the titles, but who knows. Eric Rowan is on SmackDown, which gets me thinking if Luke Harper comes back from injury, which Luke Harper is amazing, by the way. He's the second best of the Wyatt family. He'll probably go on SmackDown to sort of make the Wyatt family original incarnation that they were planning on, and then kind of make Braun Strowman his own thing on Raw. I don't mind it so far. And of course, rumors of women coming back. We need more women on SmackDown. I want to root for SmackDown, because SmackDown is like the Blue Show. It's my show. Because when I first started watching wrestling again in like 2007, that's when like Batista and Edge and Undertaker were main eventing, and guys like Rey Mysterio and Chris Benoit to an extent. I mean, I watched after Chris Benoit had already passed away, but, the whole SmackDown 6 era, I love that era, SmackDown needs to be the more wrestling-heavy show. But it's kind of going to be tough because Raw has the Cruiserweight division now. I think SmackDown should have had the women. Give Raw the Cruiserweights, have SmackDown take the women. Because right now, the women's division is very thin and the tag team division is very thin. With American Alpha, we could have a New Day situation where they're the first ones to get the SmackDown tag team titles, and then they don't drop them for a very, very long time. Just because there's no one else in the division. There's like 5 tag teams. Woo! So, both shows need a little bit more depth. We need a little bit more time to see how this new formula works out. But for now, the shows every week are pretty compelling. So, I think they're trying to make the best of this brand split. I was a proponent for it after or before WrestleMania. And then after WrestleMania, after, sort of seeing the first couple pay-per-views after WrestleMania, and then when it was announced, I was like, I don't know if I want the brand split now. Because I'm kind of going back and forth. They have 3 hours of programming every Monday. Like, you can fit a lot of people in there. You can fit everyone getting their shit in. But obviously they felt the need to split the rosters again. So, right now, I'm remaining optimistic. But I'm cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic about the WWE product. I think Raw is doing a B+ job right now. SmackDown is treading water. SmackDown's like a C+ right now, a C. They're, the first week was pretty bad, and I didn't even watch it live. But this week was okay. This week was a good show. It was a good, contained 2-hour show, entertaining. Way too many commercials, but also one last thing: new commentary teams. Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves, great for Raw. Get JBL out of there, get David Otunga out of there, and put Mauro Ranallo with Tom Phillips. Well, okay, they need to split the announced teams and bring them down to 2. Sorry. You're gonna have Michael Cole and Corey Graves on Raw. Byron Saxton and Mauro Ranallo on SmackDown. Now, if you're gonna have 3 commentators, which I know they love doing, you should put Cole, Saxton, and Graves on Raw. Get rid of JBL, get rid of David Otunga, put Mauro Ranallo, Renee Young, which that would change that role completely, but she's the best voice they got, other than like a Booker T, which I don't want to see Booker T back on commentary. But like, put Mauro Ranallo. I feel like we need a female commentator in there. So I wouldn't have, I don't know why David Otunga is still there. He adds nothing. Renee would add a female voice would add a little bit more. If Renee Young or Kathy Kelly was doing commentary, sure there's someone on the broadcast team who's a girl that could do a better job than that. I think Renee Young. I think what you need to do is you need to make Renee Young a commentator and then move Tom Phillips up to do all the pre-show stuff and the sort of the network person, because he's already doing NXT. So keep him and Corey doing NXT. That's great. But why am I talking so much about commentary? Weird way to end the video, but you get what I mean. So they need to switch it up a little bit. I'm glad they switched it up with getting JBL and Michael Cole separated, because JBL's god-awful. Michael Cole is a little bit less god-awful. Byron Saxton's okay. Corey's amazing. Mauro's amazing. I don't even know why David Otunga is there. So I think this new era is going to feel... It already feels a little bit newer. But we're going to have to see where it goes. So for now, that's it. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the SG WrestleCast. And everyone have a good day.